Hey everyone, I'm Will from Will's Electrical Services, also known as the Midfield General. Welcome back to Series 2. It's been a couple of months since I've done my last video. I've had a lot of messages, gone down quite well, so I thought I'd carry on. I thought I'd do another couple. Obviously, you can tell by the jacket, it's got a little bit colder. Summer's, autumn's here now, so yeah, what I thought I'd do is I'll go over a couple of things that I showed you in Series 1. And you know, some of the tips and all the stuff like that, and then I thought I'll show you a little highlight reel of what I want to do in the second series and all that, and hopefully we're going to have a couple of guests and all, and I want to chat to the apprentices, a couple of apprentices at the end, just a little chat about, you know, a couple of things and all that, and also show you a couple of friends who we met along the way. Lost a couple, but we don't worry about them. But yeah, got quite a few supporters and all that, and I appreciate all your help and all that. So anyway, what I'll do is we'll start off with the first tip. I don't know if you see the first ever episode, but I was showing you like KNIPEX, but obviously we've only got a metre length, but this goes with the KNIPEX. If you use these rods, you can use super rods. This is a mighty rod from CK, but yeah, if you're on your Todd, you can do that. It's absolutely a dream, even like 10 metres or so, you know. And then the second one, I'm sure quite a few of you have seen this. I've seen on it, like Instagram, I've seen loads of people using it and all that. But all it basically is a copper ring between the hole saw and the blade. I've got a shitty old one here, so I thought I'd show you it just so you could see the example and all that. And it actually works on the core drills as well, the 4-inch core drills. Neil from NTD Electrical, he showed us it as well, so yeah, it's absolutely awesome, and it surprisingly works. You know, I know at the moment there's been a bit of an explosion of the old Bosch quick release ones, you know, but I'm not a fan of them, as I stated in the other one. You know, like the trouble is they move and they make the hole so much neat, but I am a fan of these ones, even though I am not a fan of the new ones with the old collar on them. I think they're fantastic, you know, the way they don't go through. They feel so much safer. Obviously you're not going to drill into a live board or trunking, but sometimes we have to, don't we? What was the other thing is, also another one is this hammer. I think in the other episode you will see this. I'm not going to, you know, it's my own tool, I bought this, I'm not going to throw it away or anything stupid like this, but I think I said it was 16 ounces, but it's actually 13. And 13 ounces is just that, yeah, I know 3 ounces don't sound a lot unless you're going to smoke it, then obviously it'll probably kill you, but yeah, with this it's 13, and what the trouble is, it's okay, but it's not, it's a bit light, you know, for, I know you're only putting nails in, you know, like clips in and all that, but it's alright. But the bad side of it is quite light, but then also on another thing is that where I put it on my little CK holder, which was obviously in one of my other videos, it does keep the whole thing quite light. So, you know, it has got its pros and cons. And another good one is, what I've done in the video, is that this was out of the 4 lights that I got from Powertoolmate that on that deal, I think that deal was still running, is this light, which I didn't think I'd use, because obviously Pat's in my rocket light is behind that, that's the studio lighting, you know. It's I've got this, and I absolutely love this. We use this all the time. Not only has it got a USB charger on the back, I don't know the code of it. Where is the code? It's SLR2750, and obviously that's the lumens. But what I like about it, which is awesome, is that it fits underneath joists. So if you're doing a rewire and anything like that, so you know, like if you're going from one room to another, you don't always know if there's a dwarf wall, you know, the wall that goes up between the ceiling and the floor and all that. When we're doing rewires, literally you have this on the side. I know you got your phones, you got your cameras, you can send rods, but bang, straight underneath, you can see the light. It's absolutely magic, and I think that is worth, you know, it's worth its weight in gold, and that's mainly what we use that for. And obviously charging our phones when I've been spending too much time on Instagram and all that. And then also another good one is I can't plug this book enough. I think it's magic. I think it's £7, The Electrician's Guide to Good Electrical Practice. You know, it is incredible book. You know, the amount of stuff that it's got in there. I know I covered it on one of the other episodes, but even still, I just think everyone should have it. me, every time I do a video, there's another aeroplane. I know we do live in the flight path of Luton, but Jesus Christ, I've never noticed them before. And what else? Oh, where are they? I'll just grab them, hold on. It's these, I showed you these. I called them, what did I call them? I called them the hybrid. I think they're the multi-tool, like pliers. I think Luke the Sparky was going on about them the other day as well. It's just, they're okay, but they're a bit awkward because, you know, these are the 5-in-1s and all that, and you've got like, you've obviously got the burr, you've got the, you know, the pliers, you've got the crimp, which is pointless, you've got the strippers, you've got the cutters. But I'm not a big fan of these. I'm not a big fan of these at all. I think they're so foreign, because where I usually use croppers, well, I use croppers all the time for second fixing, and obviously the way I strip 2.5 is, yeah, the way I strip 2.5, yeah, I know there's a lot of people who get a bit upset about this, you know, like you shouldn't do it this way, but I look to do it. You know what I mean? I've only been doing it for 20 years and I've never had it break or anything like that. Is what the way I strip it always. It's like that. You get the 2.5 out, bang, do it like that. Bit awkward doing it like this because I didn't expect to do it. Yeah, and that is also why I'm not a big fan of these things either, which I'll show you. I don't want to ruin too much because it's all coming up in series 2. But I was going to show you these anyway. Is that I've got all these, like these stripper ones. Obviously, you're all going to see the KNIPEX ergos, which I'm not that big a fan of. Jakaris, I've always had the Jakaris. I think KNIPEX obviously must be rebranded Jakaris, because Jakari used to do that one, but they don't. And obviously the CK one, that's for round cable, that's for flat, and that's for flexes and all that. I am a fan of them like that. Like what is it? This one is awesome for armours, like, you know, 1.5 or 2.5. You strip the inner core perfectly, but you know they are still new. But you will see them in episode 2 and all that. And it's just, yeah, I think have we covered everything? Yeah. So that's all the series 1. You know what I wanted to cover. If there's anything else you want me to cover, just put it in the comments or whatever you want. Right, so what we're going to do on this one is, because obviously if you've seen the other one, I've done a volt stick pen episode. The people at Klein, I've never had one. I've never had a Klein pen tester or voltage stick or whatever you want to call them. What do they call it? Non-contact voltage. And they only sent me, I know that they watch my things because they're very good. And I chat to them via Instagram and all that. But yeah, they're really good. So they've sent me these out, and some of them are amazing. I love this one. I see this one on Dave's Taberies. It's actually a non-contact voltage tester with distance meter, like measuring. That one. That one's a thermometer. So I'm gonna have that one. Ollie's gonna have that one. Lewis is going to have the one that's got the torch on the end of it to review, but obviously he's got to do a little video, and I'm giving out these other 2 on Instagram, and hopefully the people I give them out to, I can do a little short video which I can play every episode of and all that. But they look pretty good. I'm well impressed. I'm well chuffed with that. It looks awesome. I absolutely love the old meterage things, because that is one of the things that I'm also going to show on one of my episodes. Is like, it'll probably be on the first fix, because I've got the Bosch measuring thing, the GL-M50C. That is amazing bit of kit. Anyone who's got it, I know quite a few people on Instagram have got it, but I've had mine for ages. I bought it for quoting, but really now I just use it for first fix. If you're on your own for measuring out the centre of the room and all that, just bang, bang, measure, then do the mark on the floor, put the lasers up, bang, straight away. Within a minute you've got the centre of the room like that. I will show that on a later video as well. Right, a few of the other things that I want to show you is I'm going to basically show you some of the things, like tricks and tips that I use on first fix, second fix, how I like to get my fuse boards ready, like consume units, sorry, ready. So like I've got the labels, everything on there. I want to show you a little tour of my test kit. Also some of my some of my bags, because obviously I've got the pack out, I've got the Festal sustainers, I've also got all the, I've got bits and bobs of veto. I don't have the rucksacks. As I said before, I'm not very keen on the old rucksacks. I've got a Stanley Fat Max which I use because, like, obviously with the different types of works I do and all that, it's like at the moment we do testing like locally out the van, so I've got a CK Magna and all that, and if I jump on the train and go up to London for some commercial testing at the weekends and all that, I put a rucksack on, like a Stanley Fat Max, which I'll go through them all. And also, like next week, because we've got we do some work for a guy who looks after a load of communal aerials in flats, so we've got about 4 tests to do next week. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put it on the roller truck of the pack out, fill that up, so I've got my wonder lead, my radios and all that, but I'll be going through it all with you and showing you and giving you hopefully a few tips along the way, you know what I mean. And I'll bring a couple of bits in to show you what we here. This meter here, this is the MEGGER, the DCM 305E, the earth leakage clamp meter. This is stunning, I tell you. I absolutely love this. This hole here, I'll quickly measure that and see what the size. I think it's 43 mil. I think the jaws are open to 43 mil. I've got a jaw thing here, haven't I? Yeah, it's about 32 mil. It's got on the tape. Yeah, you know what I mean. You probably break it, but it's the actual glory hole is 40 mil. So yeah, and this is absolutely awesome. I've hopefully got a guest coming in a couple of weeks. I've hopefully got Paul Meenham from E5, and he was showing one of these off on one of his live streams on Instagram. So hopefully I'll have a chat with him. That's them up there. They're massive, like they're really good. They're actually, I'll chat about him more when he comes in, but I've actually challenged him because, you know, like the schedule of testings that you get on all the test certs and all that, you know, like the tick boxes and all that. I really wanted to do it, but to be fair, I'm not really that confident enough to show because I don't really understand it too well. And when I was chatting to the assessor for my approved contractor thing the other day, I was chatting to him and I asked him, I said, how many people actually get it right on that tick list? And he said out of the 300 people or the 300 assessments he's done, he reckons he's had about 5 people get them right, and he reckons 3 of them were fluke and 2 were right. But I personally think it's under interpretation, but I'll discuss that when Paul comes in because, you know, we'll see what his opinion is with it. Right, I'll bring the next bit. Right, these here, I've got these. These are bolt cutters. These are the KNIPEX, I don't even know, 71, 12, 200. 200 is obviously the length of the handle. But these ones have these funny spring in the middle, and they also have the lock to go. What I use these for is for buzz bar, you know, in the consumer units for cutting, like, you know, like if you get the Hager one, the WIHA and all that, if you get the split load boards and all that, you've got to cut the buzz bar, but that is absolutely perfect. But when I do a consumer unit, when I prepare it, like I'll show you, because what I usually do with that is I usually, as I say, put the company logos on it, you know, put the gland, put the tails and all that, because obviously all the work I do is all my own, so I've obviously always surveyed it, and when I do survey or quote, I take photos so I know exactly where I'm going in. I even take photos with a tape measure, so if I'm a bit concerned about the size of the consumer unit, I know when I'm at home I can find out the information. But yeah, I highly recommend them. These are awesome, and they, because where they've got the spring, they're really powerful without having to exert a lot of energy, you know, so I highly recommend them. Yeah, so the next one, what I'm going to show you is, because obviously I want to do a whole episode of second fix of all the stuff that I do and don't do and all that. So what I've got here is a load of the cable strippers that I use. I actually bought a few of these because I was quite interested in these, even though I used to have one of these, but I think it was Jacari. I think KNIPEX, I think what they do is that they rebrand a few of the other companies like tools, and then they sell them off. I might be right, I might be wrong. I'm not too bothered. I'm not going to look into it. If you know, you can answer it, because I know the KNIPEX scissors are an Italian brand that make them, and they just rebrand them for them. I think they just help out, because obviously they're probably bigger than Jacari, so they probably just do it for them. Because, like, you know, like if you look at this CK one and this Jacari one, I'll obviously bring the camera in. They're identical. So it's, you know, Jacari have always done these because like this one's for round, that one's for flat, and it's obviously got the two little tongues for the 1525. The KNIPEX ones are the same. You know, they're okay, but obviously I'll review them in their own programs and all that. But I've always used the Jacari because they're awesome for FP200 if you're doing fire alarm systems and all that. Because I used to do a bit of gas suppression and all that and stuff like that. But yeah, they're beautiful. They're really handy, and obviously that speaks for itself how handy that is. We all know it. And then also I bought this KNIPEX, this cable. This is more for singles. I kind of messed up, you know, enough at Amazon late night, just so I sold it, I buy it, and it's actually quite expensive. But I thought it was the twin version, because the good thing is with these is where the blade's at the end. If you're stripping like 2.5 like in a socket and all that, you can get right up close, because you know when you usually strip it and you pull back the earth, it goes, you know, it don't go so back. You've still got about 5-10 mil. This one you've forgot the last one. The last one is this Powertoolmate. I'm pretty sure if you must be living under a rock again if you've not seen these. These are the Powertoolmates. I actually bought one, and in the same week I won one from the company that supply it. Like I didn't enter a raffle. I think just anyone who followed them, they just randomly drew it out of a hat, and I won a Powertoolmate, which is awesome. And I will actually do a show of soldering, because personally I've never done any soldering since I was at college, and I think it was about 23 years ago, and we used to actually have to tie circuit boards together and all that part. I'm not too sure about that. I'm going to ask Gary Howes, you know, from EFIX, you know, if hopefully he ever comes to visit us here, if what that was all about. But going on about Gary and all that, I just want to mention a few friends that I've met along the way. So we've got E5 from, they do podcasts, they do loads of, they're very factual and they're very good. Like they're spot on. They're very switched on. You got EFIX, which is awesome. You've got Gary, Gordon, and Joe. Like they're absolutely awesome. Now, as I say, Gary's from GSH. You've got Joe Trainer, who's also one of the main presenters as well, and he does a lot of the science and maths. And I'm actually I'm a bit geeky like that. I do actually really enjoy the science, so I often watch his shows. Who else you've got Craig there from Giffords. He's brilliant. He's done a day's work for us. Absolute charming fella. Great channel. You've got Art of Smart. They've started with their Art of Smart media. They've got some really good videos on their jobs, and they're brilliant. It's fascinating, some of the jobs and how neat they are. They're an inspiration, really, to be fair. You've got DJE. He's pretty big on Instagram as well. Very doing a lot for mental health at the moment. And you've got all the other guys. You've got Pete. You know, you've got Jordan, who's got the Tools for You channel. Also, you know, Jordan, he speaks for himself. He's an absolute charming fella, and he's helped me out with a couple of bits with all this and all that. So yeah, I'll give, you know, obviously give them all a follow. There's a couple missing, like you've got Electricians Guide to Everything. They're not up there. I've done a podcast with them, and I'm the biggest fan with their Monday Night Club. I think it's brilliant. I think some of the things they cover, it's nice to see that, you know, electricians with a good personality, you know, it's, you know, we're not all fucking idiots, are we, you know what I mean? But yeah, and that's pretty good. And also what I was going to chat to you about with the Apprentice is that you've got Mark, one of the co-hosts, and I think he does on Instagram. He's probably on Twitter and all that, but I only basically go on Instagram, really. All the other platforms are just for private and football and porn stars and UFC fighters, really. But yeah, and what I was going to say to you is, you know, follow them for the Apprentice. And as I was going to say to you about like the apprenticeships and all that, is just that anything you see or read on the online and all that towards it, just take it all with a pinch of salt, because like I've been in the game for 23 years. I've done 10 years commercial. I've probably done 13 years like testing and domestic and all that. And you know, I've done everything from data centres to office blocks to hospitals to houses, you know, to extensions, you know, like everything. I've touched base with most of the stuff, really. Data, fire alarms, gas suppression, you know, but you can't know everything and you won't always be right. So if you ever see people bickering online and all that, just take it with a pinch of salt, because, you know, it is a very proud trade, you know what I mean? And you can't know it all, and if you think you do, then you're a fucking idiot, you know what I mean? Right, I think that's it for another episode, and I hope you've enjoyed it, and I hope you can enjoy the next series. Right, I'm Will from Will's Electrical Services, and if you're going to be anything, then be electric. Oi, up the blues.